Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 26 of Hard Knock Hawks. I'm Anthony, along with our other co hosts, Chris, Leon, and Marco. And this is the podcast where we talk about our favorite basketball team, the Atlanta Hawks, and sometimes other things in the NBA too. It's the twilight of the Hawks season right now, with only 8 games left in the regular season, with that includes 4 home games and 4 road games. The Hawks are in a tight race to keep the 7th seed, as the Orlando Magic are literally 6,000th behind the Hawks right now. The Hawks have a really easy schedule in order to keep the 7th seed. So there's a chance in the coming days to fully cement themselves as that 7th seed, or even possibly get a 6th seed as the Bucks currently have Dame out for the entirety of the season. Overall, the Hawks are currently the 16th ranked offense and the 17th ranked defense for cleaning the glass. But if you look closer, since the trade deadline, the Hawks have had the 5th ranked offense and the 20th ranked defense. They have been 13-10 since the trade deadline. So I'm gonna start with you, Chris. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the Hawks' position as we close the season out right now?
Well, I mean, I think they blew the media predictions out of the water, so I think that's a dub. I think internally they probably are very happy with where they're sitting. I'm sure they think they could be higher, and they could if they were healthier. Ball bounced their way a few times, but I think what they've done this year, fighting through adversity, being in the position they are, right? They're a couple games from 500. We play the Trailblazers next, so I think this is a team that's probably feeling really good. You got a good dub. They're they're figuring some things out before the playoffs. They're scoring the ball well, so I think they're trending up as you get to the playoffs, and I think that's what you want, right? You got as many guys healthy as possible, and Zacch just had a monster game, so they're confident and happy. So I'm happy with where they're at. This was a year where results don't really matter, but you they were too talented to be as bad as the media thought they were. So they got enough wins to kind of validate what I thought their talent was this year. So yeah, this has been a success. It was a good run, and yeah, I'm interested to see what happens next. Marco.
Yeah, this was a good year in my opinion. Even where we're standing at, like you said, we blew media projections out. We're way above media projections right now of what they thought we were going to be. They thought we were going to be 10th, 11th seed, and here we are at 7th, which is good for where we're at, especially since you lost Jalen and you made the necessary upgrades to stay somewhat competitive at the deadline and all that other good stuff. So I'm happy for what we've seen. I think, like Chris said, this was a year that didn't where results didn't really matter. You wanted to develop key guys because you had a lot of guys that you didn't really know what would pan out to be, or you had an idea of what the guys would be, and you had to see it on court. Like Dyson. I think a lot of all 4 of us were high on Dyson coming into the season, but I think he's also blown our expectations out of the water because we didn't really know he had the scoring ability in him on top of the defense. But so he's a solid two-way star in the making. Um, I don't think anybody knew where to really project Risha Shea. But he's been blowing people out of the water too with the expectations. So again, I'm fine with how the season went. The Hawks have a solid foundation on everything. Um, and you have again a solid foundation to blow up with next year. So can't really ask for too much now. Leon, how you doing?
I think the Hawks are probably satisfied with their position right now. They got an opportunity to possibly grab that 6th seed, pretty much clinched a playing spot tonight with the win over the Bucks, which is good. So you got some type of postseason happening, whether it's a playing game or two, or a spot in the playoffs. So it's a good spot to be in, considering that all the moves we made last season or last summer were future facing. Selling DeJounte, drafting Zacch, you know, signing young guys that fit. We obviously brought in a couple vets at the trade deadline, but even those were really sell moves in totality. So you have an opportunity to continue to develop the young guys that you're playing. Obviously, Zacch, Moji, Don Barlow, who had some moments tonight, some really positive moments. So, organizationally, I think they feel like they're in a great spot as far as this season. Obviously, they wish they could be 100%. And could really be making a little bit more noise and getting into the battling for home court, but that just wasn't in the cards this year with Jalen's injury. So I'm satisfied considering the circumstances, but I'm excited to see what comes next. What about you, Ant?
I think first off, I want to give a shout out to Dyson. He had his 213th steal in the Milwaukee Bucks game today, and that marks a Hawks record for the most steals of any Hawks player in a season, which is like crazy to think for a player that we literally just acquired last summer. And I think it just shows you I think how much we just underestimated Dyson's like potential for this team, even for our expectations. Like Marco said, even when we were high on him, like he still like just managed to like just blow out his expectations basically. But generally, like for me, I think as we end the season with only 8 games left, I think the Hawks are just in a really good spot. They have really, I think, impressed me with just only 8 games left, especially with how much they fought and competed throughout the season. They are at 36 wins right now with 8 games left. They have matched their season total from last year, which is something I don't think a lot of people expected, considering how much people thought DeJounte was just like carrying this team, which I think in reality, I think has shown that really wasn't necessarily the case at all. You look at all the stats and you could just see that they are just overall just a better team from last year, even without Jalen, which I think is just the most impressive thing. And I think that's just a lot of credit to just not just the roster changes, but also to like Quinn Snyder and how much they just like committed everyone to this system and what they're doing right now. So I think there's just a lot of props to them. My question to everyone is that even though I mentioned earlier about how like the Hawks schedule is one of the easier schedules in the league, are you guys worried that the Hawks may potentially lose this 7th seed or possibly be like the 8th or 9th seed in the coming days? Or do you guys think that they'll be able to just stay firm? Because as we've like seen like over the past few years, the Hawks have had this like tendency to just not be able to just like close out during these past few seasons. You can go first, Leon.
I think that the schedule is extremely favorable. You basically only play one team that's over 600, and most of the teams you play are under 400. The only teams you play that are over 400 are Orlando twice, and I guess New York is solid too. I mean, the Mavs are almost 500. But everybody else is pretty terrible. So really, you got 8 games left. If you're over 500 over the rest of the season, if you go 5-3, you are a 500 team for the season. So
yeah,
I think that should get you at least to the 7th seed. Obviously, if you lose to Orlando twice, it's going to be hard to stay ahead of them. Obviously, because that's 25% of both teams' remaining schedules. So
And they have the
we'd have to-
tiebreaker. So
right. So we really well, they have the tiebreaker right now, but they wouldn't
oh
have
yeah,
it if we beat them twice. Because how many times have we played them already?
I think twice already.
Twice.
So
And they won both times.
no, hold on, let me check. I think
It's 1-1.
yeah, it's 1-1. So if they beat us twice after this,
Yeah, I think the most likely scenario with the Magic is a split anyway.
okay, yeah.
Just in general, like that's just the most likely scenario. In which case, we'll probably be ahead of them because we do have a much easier schedule than they do. I mean, they got to play the Celtics again. They got to play the Pacers. They got to play the Clippers. Obviously, they got some easy games too with the Wizards and Spurs, but I just think our schedule is a little bit more favorable down the stretch than theirs. But yeah, I don't think there's any chance we end up 9-10 unless something catastrophic happens. Yeah, I think 7-8 is pretty much the play moving forward. Maybe even 6, if we can really rattle off some wins here. Yeah. G-Wagons, pizza guy.
I gave my client some good orders today. He had a good game. He was talking good shit, so we hooked him up with a few extra on top of the order he already made. But yeah, I'm not really worried about it, man. Like Leon said, our schedule is favorable. The only hard team we play in these next 8 games, or a tough team we play in these next 8 games, are the Knicks, and it's a good chance that the Knicks just might sit people that game because their spot is already secure, is locked in, so they really don't have a need to risk anything. So, I feel like we're fine. I feel like we're locked at 8th. We'll win our division because Heat and Orlando have some tough games coming up. So I'm pretty confident on where we're at. I'm pretty confident on how we'll finish. We'll be 500 by the end of the season, over 500 by the end of the season. So I'm pretty confident in everything right now. So 7 seed, fine with it, confident. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, in this case, anything can happen. Truly, the Magic having 2 games with us right at the end of the season can really flip any situation almost. Unless we've just pulled way ahead, which I'm sure they would prefer to have some space between them and the Magic by the time they face each other, so that maybe you could even rest guys in the second game, if possible. It's been a long year, and you've had more than a few guys go down with injuries, so hopefully you can figure out kind of what you want to do for the playoffs before then without dropping too many games. I think they'll be fine keeping the 7 seed. I do think they're shooting well enough, I think, to at least get one of those games against the Magic, and if you can split that series, I think you're in solid position, yeah, to get the 7 seed. So yeah, just kind of keep playing the way you're playing. They should get it.
All right, I see everyone here is just generally really confident. I'm thinking generally, I'm mostly confident. It's just I see a few games that may be a bit troublesome, but we'll see. I think they should be able to hold it out. It's just 7 seed race is just really close right now for the Hawks. So,
What troublesome games do you see?
well, I see New York. I think Dallas and the back-to-back with Portland and Dallas, I think, is going to be interesting.
Depending on who they play, right?
Yeah, I think those 2 games may be interesting. And New York, I think, I'm just looking at really honestly, it's just the first 3 games for this little final stretch are just gonna be, I think, the most interesting games, and that's it. Honestly, just thinking about it now, it's just, and then after
because
that,
Utah should be full on tank, Brooklyn
Yep.
should be full on tank, Philly should be full on tank.
Yep. And then it's just Orlando's gonna be competing no matter what. So
yeah, Orlando's gonna be competing, especially in the first game.
Mm-hmm.
But in the second game, it might be depending on how it all plays out. It might be a situation where both teams are just like resting guys because a win either way wouldn't change anything, which is possible. But we'll see.
Those 3 games are just gonna decide everything for me, I think. Or
I mean, you got to win the ones you're supposed to win.
Yeah.
Right. And the Magic, the Magic got the Celtics, who were definitely resting guys. soon because, like, why wouldn't they? They have what, an 8-game lead on the 3 seed.
Yeah, it does matter for them. They don't care.
You know what I mean? And it's like they can catch the Cavs, but I don't think they're going to. And the Pacers, I don't know. Same thing. Can catch the Knicks, probably not going to. And then they've got, who else do they have that's tough? Yeah, the Clippers. So
Yeah.
you know, and then the teams, like, do they have any teams in the middle that could actually beat them? Let's see here, calendar. Well, they got the Clippers tomorrow, and then they got Spurs. They're going to beat the Spurs. Wizards. They're going to beat the Wizards. And then they finish with Celtics, Pacers, us twice. Yeah, it could get tight. I ain't even gonna lie. It could get tight, man. It could get tight. Yeah. Not as hard as I thought it was.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we'll see what happens. Like if they do
we
fine,
gotta win both those games. I'm not even
Yeah.
gonna lie. We gotta win both those games. I ain't even gonna catch you.
Well, hopefully they pull it out because depending on if they if they
I
lose
think we're locked into 7 or 8, and the only difference really is
just if
where
we play
you play
home
the
or
first
away.
game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think
Yeah,
the
7 or
Bulls
8
are
is technically the same situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just whether
Exactly.
where you play that game.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, you're right, but
and the
I'd rather
Bulls-
just play a away game. Not away game, a home game.
I mean, duh.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, you know, I think the Bulls have too much ground to cover too late in the season to, like,
Yeah.
really make it a conversation. Hell, they got OKC tomorrow, so we already know how that's going to go. Or do we? No, we do. And the Raptors are going to actually try to beat them. The Blazers are going to actually try to beat them. The Cavs might beat them by themselves. The Heat are still going to be trying to win because they'll be trying to get that 10 matchup, that home game. And then they'll finish with 2 wins. So, you know, I don't think it's that. I'm not really worried about them, honestly.
Yeah, it's just gotta be close between us and the Magic.
For sure.
But now we're gonna talk about another update with the Rookie of the Year race because as of today's with the Milwaukee Bucks game that we but with the Hawks doing playing against the Milwaukee Bucks, Zachary Risichet scored a career high 36 points today, and with that, he's still second in the Rookie of the Year odds right now behind Stephon Castle. But do you think with this 36 point game, do you think the Rookie of the Year odds change anything? I'm going to start with you, Marco.
You left out another important fact. He is the only rookie recently to score 3 30-point games in one season, something like that.
Oh yeah, thank you. He's the only rookie that has 3 30-point games.
Teenager to do it all time.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah, so I feel like, me personally, I feel like that should get him over the hump for it. Because I think he's had a better stretch of games lately than Castle, but I feel like he's been playing up to it. He's been solid since All-Star break. He's been hooping. He's been, the piece everybody's hoping he could play, could turn out to be something like that. So again, yeah, he should get Rookie of the Year. I feel like the odds and stuff should update this week, probably later this week or sometime this week. They should update. NBA has been dropping it every week, every other week, but at this point, so he should be Rookie of the Year, in my opinion. But if he doesn't get it, it is not the end of the world. Chris,
that one, I mean, the odds would have already shifted. I think it's tough to say going by Vegas odds anyway, because I don't know that like the professional gamblers are really in on it yet, especially with how close it's getting down the stretch. It is kind of a full season campaign. I know Zacch's kind of gone off some now late in the season. I think they've kind of played it well. He's peaking at the right time. But Castle kind of had some good moments early in the year, and he's got the ball a lot. It's the point differential, I think, is still in Castle's favor. So I think if Zacch can have a few splash games and maybe close the gap a bit, you look at the role and they might take that into account. He's got a shot. I think it's looking 50-50, maybe with the edge to Castle, just because he's kind of been the leader in the clubhouse for most of this back half of the season, especially since the All-Star break. Yeah, I mean, Zacch's got a chance. He just has to, if he does this again, yeah. But we'll see how many 30-point games he has in the last 8. So.
Yeah, it's 8. I think that Zacch should win because he's going to be starting on the playoff team. And, efficiency politics. I think that efficiency politics have hurt many a Hawk player in the past, namely Trae Young. And I think it's time for the efficiency politics to work in the Hawks' favor. Zachary Uche is shooting a very, very respectable on the season. Right? This is a rookie on the season, 45, 35, 72. So I'm pretty sure Zach's got him on the plus or minus as the Spurs have changed the last since Wemby, started his no longer playing basketball thing. Wembanyama. Yeah, so he's got him on the he's got him on the plus minus. He's got him on the obviously efficiency politics. Like he's got steals by a hair, assists, and does he have rebounds or is it that tight? I think you always say, man, it's just the counting stats, man. It's just the counting stats, man, at the end of the day. No, yeah, he's got him on the boards. So Steph's really only got him in points, assists, and barely on steals. Obviously, he's playing way more minutes. And Zacch wins the efficiency battle by a mile, basically. So that's my pick. That's my rookie of the year. Doing catching reverse alley-oops in transition. Spraying Giannis. Finishing through contact. Zacch is finishing through contact, guys. We lit. That's my rookie of the year. Anthony?
I think it sucks for Zacch that he's basically gonna be probably for a good portion of his early career that he's just gonna be the face of being called the worst draft pick in the worst class ever. And because of that,
Anthony,
you've already beat those out. His name is not Cody Williams.
You're right. No, but here's the thing, right? No matter, even you can say that, Marco, but the thing is that people are still gonna think of him as that. And I feel like that narrative is probably gonna be affecting, his odds for that, even if he has those games. Because I think he should win rookie of the year, right? Because of stuff like the 30-point games and stuff. And like Leon said, he's really efficient in scoring and stuff. But stuff like this, like what I said, and his bad start, they had it's creating like this image that I feel like it's may not just necessarily just go away for him. I think that's gonna be just unfair for him, especially early in his career. Honestly,
I don't know how that factors in rookie of the year, though, right? If the whole class is seen as bad, being the number one pick in that class, I don't know if that hurts you for rookie of the year. I think what does hurt him is when you're not the go-to guy on the team. He just doesn't have the raw counting numbers, and kind of rookie of the year is not a super in-depth voting process. There annoys fans consistently. I remember the LeBron Carmelo controversy because Melo took his team to the playoffs, and LeBron didn't. And a lot of people were mad that LaMelo didn't get, or that Carmelo didn't get Rookie of the Year. I was one of them. And their stats are really, really similar. But LeBron, I think LeBron had the edge and some of the peripheral stuff, but it really does just come down to who scores the most. It's not even about efficiency because at the end of the day, they're rookies. Zacch's efficiency is what it is because he gets a lot of open stuff, and Castle is not getting that, even though he's not really a great shooter anyway. But they don't really care about the efficiency. They're just like who scores the most, who gets the most assists, who gets the most rebounds, and they're going to look at a spreadsheet and they're going to vote. So I don't know. I mean, the thinking man likely would go with Zacch, but these people, dude,
You said the thinking man.
it's awards, bro. I mean, how often are we mad at who these people pick for everything? It's every year, so don't expect much.
Yeah, and it's if they want to label him. I don't think I don't think Twitter discourse is playing into whatever Rookie of the Year, however they're going to evaluate it or whatever, because they've already changed their tune on him. It's been nothing but hype for him since All-Star, post All-Star break, and it's been nothing but NBA is posting him at least 2-3 times a week on the main page. So it's like it's whatever. So again, Castle, if he wins it, whoop-de-doo. If Zacch doesn't win it, it's not the end of the world. We know we still have a solid player at the end of the day.
That's true. Yep.
Yeah, for sure. That's all that matters.
But it'd be really cool if he got Rookie of the Year, though, right?
He'll be the first Hawk player to get it.
Yeah.
You won't even care about that at some point, but I get it.
I mean, yeah,
That looks good.
It matters for some people.
But what's our next topic? It's only so much you can say about Zacch that we haven't already said.
yeah. I mean, yeah, you're right.
I
But
mean, let's discuss just a little bit here.
Please.
I mean, obviously, the issues with the self-creation were real. Obviously, he can't dribble that well. We know that. But the questions about the three ball, I think he's answered. His ability to finish at the rim is impressive for a guy his age and is physically not, let's say, underdeveloped as he is. And the defense looks great right now. Obviously, rookies get rookied, but he doesn't get rookied as often as most rookies do. He doesn't make a lot of those rookie mistakes, and I think that's a win in and of itself. And that kind of makes you really interested in what he can grow into. And I think because he's starting on the playoff team, a team that's going to be in the playoffs, the expectations are higher in a way. I don't know how to explain it. I think the expectations are high because he's number one pick, but his role on the team obviously is not number one pick, first year number one pick type of role. So it's just interesting. It's an interesting case study in the NBA in general. But I'm still happy we picked him, and I think he's going to be a really good player for a long time. So that's just me.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point in the year, I think it's a lot easier to project. Today's NBA discourse is so much about trying to be first, trying to be right before everybody else, and trying to sum up someone every night. It feels like starting with game one, and I might have got a little bit into that with Zacch. But if we're updating our scouting report, no, it definitely Zacch is shown. I think that he is progressing as a shooter. Right, that's one thing you kind of look for. Is one thing I kind of look for with players is year to year, are you consistently getting better in your game, right? So Zacch showed last year he popped as a shooter, and then this year there was a slow start, but then he popped as a shooter. And it's largely due to the hard work. So you're seeing a guy who's can take what he's working on and implement it on the floor and get better at it, which is a really important thing in terms of development, because a lot of that shit is theoretical. A lot of dudes work on their jump shot, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of dudes out there taking shots, and they don't get better. But Zacch has gotten better, so that's something that we can now project him to continue to get better to some extent. So that's exciting. The defense is there. He's 6'9". He moves really well. There was a lob he caught today that was like not a normal play. For people, it might like go a little under appreciated because we see a lot with Trae like throwing crazy lobs, but like that was like half court, like the timing, body control, all the stuff Zacch does. He's a really good prospect. And in terms of like, I think more of a modern classic off-ball big. I don't know. It's hard to like phrase that right because they just don't really play. The big-time wing prospects don't
Go
really have
ahead. Go
Zach's
ahead and
game
explain it how
anymore.
you explained it in the chat, man.
Honestly, I wish I could remember exactly how I did, but
I'll help you. A generation of wings and forwards lost to trying to turn everybody into LeBron.
Yeah. I was gonna say like they really don't make wings like that because in America you come up or you big prospect. Even with Luka and those guys, like you just put the best player on the ball, right? And that takes away a lot of their instincts and how they learn how to play the game. So I think Zacch kind of growing up off ball, he has a lot more of that traditional style. Like people wanted to compliment Tatum. Like Tatum doesn't play like Tatum's on ball all the time. Like Zacch doesn't like even the Clay stuff. Clay is like a movement shooter, and he's not really like Zacch is a bit more spot up with his game for now. Anyway, he might add that movement style, but like he's like been more of a classic off ball wing. More in like the Rashard Lewis category, like Sean Marion. I've been pushing this, especially that lob today was big. He had another dunk. The way he plays above the rim, the defensive versatility, I think long term, that's going to pop. He's got good hands, so I think the rebounding should be there. There's a lot of things Zacch does well, and putting him next to Jalen, I think in that front court is a really good pairing long term. They do a lot of the things they do similar. You need them to do, but the things they do differently, I think you both need, right? Like they both fill kind of holes in the team in terms of spacing the floor and Zach's regard and the passing, rebounding of Jalen. So yeah, it's a really good fit.
Yeah, but we're gonna go ahead and move on to talk about something that I think I found really interesting when reading about it. So this hoops hype article was released by Michael Escato that talked a lot about the Hawks, and there was a segment in this article about a Trae Young extension. Michael Escato asked about Trae Young about possible extension, and he responded by saying, "Yeah, I'm still stuck in the moment right now, and not really focusing on that right now. I know it's going to come. People will be asking questions here. I'm just focusing on this team, building these young guys and giving them confidence. At the end of the year, everything else will be discussed." So after the season ends, Trae Young could be offered a 4-year, $229 million contract as his extension. So my question for you guys is, do you guys think the Hawks should offer him that extension? And what do you guys think the Hawks' future will be if he doesn't get offered that extension?
I'll go first.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Personally, I feel like you should give Trae the extension. No matter what, you're still going to have him being paired with Jalen if you can't hypothetically get that second, that second person. Because in that same article, it did say we were linked to Kevin Durant and Brandon Ingram. We were trying to get both of those guys. We talked about Brandon Ingram. We didn't really talk about the Kevin Durant stuff. Anyways, I feel like the Hawks should give him the extension. That extension also could go up if he makes All NBA, which is possible now. I don't know what exactly it goes up to if he makes All NBA, but I know it's a lot yearly, like 70 something yearly. So kind of, it's a lot. So it is a commitment. It is a commitment because once you sign him to that money, he's basically a Hawk for life. Because not saying it's in a negative light, or he's a Hawk for the rest of that contract.
He's basically a Hawk till he's 30.
Basically. Yeah, he's basically a Hawk for the rest of his prime years, and because no team is really going to trade for a contract that large with how financial is going. So, and Hawks are you just got to make sure the cap book is right when you give contracts like that. But Trae deserves it. He's the main reason we've been relevant these last few seasons. We finally have a bona fide star. You can't, and in this market where you can't really give up too much because new cap, whatever you have to keep what you can. He's only 26. He still fits the timeline that we have with the guys that are 23 and under, 22, 23 and under. And most of those 23 and under players are really good, and he elevates those players. So I feel like, you give Trae the money, try to go find somebody else that can really get over the hump, and you go from there. But again, it also falls into the All NBA, because if you get us All NBA, that's 70 mil a year plus. It just comes down to, what do you feel is best for the team? Leon.
I think Trae should get the baby max, the normal max, no brainer. I think if you're the best at anything in the NBA and you get a max, you probably deserve a max. Just call him spade a spade. He's the best passer in the world. He's gonna get a max. Some people don't want to hear that. It's fine, cool. It's what it's gonna be. Is he gonna take the Jalen Brunson pay cut? I doubt it. Is Landry gonna try to lowball him? I don't know. That's an interesting question. I can't wait to find out. But you also asked, what's the outlook of this team if he does not sign that extension? We're going to be in the market for a point guard. While we don't have we have the lesser of our pick and the Spurs pick next year, and we don't have our pick in 2027. So that would not be very good for the outlook of this organization moving forward. Yeah, that's that. If he makes All NBA, and if he makes All NBA with the season he had and the season we've had, then the NBA is colluding to hurt the Hawks. That is my take on the situation. There's years where he should have made All NBA and he didn't. And if they give it to him this year, then the jig is up, Adam Silver. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I've been pretty open about this for years that, I would pay Trae Young. I don't think it makes any sense to not pay Trae Young. That freeing up all that money, you're not signing any assortment of free agents that make up what Trae does. I think if you're planning to move off of him at any point in the near future, it's a significant bet on the creation development of your 2, 3, 4 guys. I don't know how they feel about those guys in that department long term, so I can't really predict what they're going to do there. But yeah, I don't think it makes sense to not pay Trae. You need, even if you want to trade him, you need him under contract to match with the money. It's too difficult to make trades without a contract like that, especially if you're trying to bring in a big time player. And if you're moving Trae, you need to bring in a big time player. So yeah, I think you kind of have to pay him. I think you just drafted a guy that fits next to him. You paid Jalen to play next to him. You built this team around Trae Young, so moving off of him right now doesn't really make sense to me. I think if you are going to trade him, you have to get a lot back. It's going to be a trade that the guy who made it is going to be in jeopardy. It's going to be a Nico situation. What the Hawks need to get back if they are going to trade Trae. You got to get a superstar, a guy that makes up a lot. Even if he's not the type of playmaker he is, I mean, you're looking for a guy who needs to be leading the league in scoring near, to really have the type of gravity.
You need to
that
get
Trae
something like a
has.
De'Aaron Fox, basically.
Yeah, it would, and then maybe probably something else on top of that, just because Fox isn't that type of playmaker. Trae can give you the 25 that Fox is going to give you, but there's scoring you need to make up for. Yeah, it's very difficult to move off of Trae, and you've made a team that plays really well around him. So yeah, I think you need to pay him. You should pay him. As for a pay cut, that's complicated, right? I think if you're trying to do that, you got to bring in another star or someone that Trae is like, yeah, I will take way less money for this guy to get paid, right? I think that could be complicated. I don't know if it's now there's strategies to maybe you don't pay Trae this summer and maybe you wait to pay Trae until he does hit full free agency so you can game the system and try to sign a really nice free agent, mid-tier guy, maybe a star. I don't know who would be available. But yeah, it'll be complicated. It's what the Sixers did with Embiid this summer, where they let all their contracts expire, right? So they could just bring in some big guys and then re-sign their guys. So there's some things you could do. So maybe it's not pay Trae this summer, but I think with the team you put together, you need to pay Trae Young because this team is built to play off of him. As soon as you let Trae go, these open shots that Zacch gets are going to dry up. Like the lobs are going to dry up. Like the backdoor cuts. Like all these guys are learning how to play off of Trae. And when he's gone, like those scouting report is going to catch up pretty quick. Like they're only going to play these dudes straight up for so long before they're not going to let the Hawks beat them because they're going to be prepared, right? Whatever Dyson likes to do, they're going to start to take that away. Whatever Zacch likes, they're going to take that away. They're going to chase the guys off the 3-point line. It's going to be a bunch of ball pressure. So, this team is built for Trae. So yeah, I would pay Trae.
The reason why I brought this topic up is mainly because whenever the topic of a Trae Young extension always comes up, I've seen people generally be really hesitant about it because the thing with Trae is that he can be I think very inconsistent. I think sometimes, especially as a scorer, and I get that hesitancy, especially as you're just giving him so much money. But what he does, I feel like on offense, so much for this team, just outweighs so much of that value. And yeah, it's like hard to just build around him and stuff. But considering that like we're just so close to just figuring out all that stuff, right? With Jalen and Zacch and Onyeka, I just feel like everyone else has said, we're just basically at a point where it's just you just have to pay him and just have to keep him no matter what people say and just roll with it. You just see what happens with all the young talent we have. Because if you don't and just like let it go, like it's just not gonna be like good. It's gonna be like bad. Because I mean, this is a team right now that's just built for Trae Young to like operate in space and operate in transition and stuff. Were you about to say something, Leon?
Oh no, I'm letting you finish, but I am.
Yeah, but this is like a team that is built for Trae. So just taking him out, it's just gonna be completely different. It's gonna be like weird to see how this team would function. We need like a whole new point guard, a whole new system. It would just functionally, I don't know how will this team would just even be operating. I know. Okay, go ahead.
They're going to pay Trae.
Yeah, I know that.
Because you spent like it would be just gross malpractice to like prepare yourself the way that they prepare themselves to win around this core and then be like, okay, well, the best players ask for too much money, we can't do it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And yeah, did they kind of nerf his efficiency this year on purpose?
Probably.
Maybe.
Didn't give him shooters till the second half of the season.
Maybe. But you know, it's in their best interest that he don't make an All-NBA team so that they can get him for the GB.
Agreed.
I have no problem with that, by the way. I don't care. None of these awards. Give them to someone else. We need to be sustainable in Atlanta.
Is 229 by 4 or by 5?
And you have to think about who you are as an organization. I don't think some people even think about that. Like, one, free agency doesn't exist for superstars, bro. You're not signing. Like, you let Trae walk. You're not bringing in, like, the superstars are going to see. They're going to be like, wait, y'all let Trae Young walk? I'm not going there. What the heck? They're going to be like, y'all didn't respect Trae Young enough to pay him. What the hell are you going to do to me?
You drafted this guy. You traded Luka for him.
this has been your guy. Like, I think this is Tony has given Landry and Quinn a lot of autonomy. I think they've been able to just kind of do their thing and build the roster the way they want to build it. But the second they come in his office and say that they don't want to pay Trae, they better have a fucking amazing plan. I'm sorry, Spotify.
It's okay.
Because it's gonna be a lot like that Luka conversation. He's gonna laugh like, "Are you serious?" And you better have a plan, because
I mean, like,
you lose your job for that one.
Because I mean, the minute that like anytime Trae is absent, we're automatically a bottom 5 offense. So I know that's gonna happen unless we have a decent point guard, since we don't really have anyone that can really just organize the offense. So it's just stuff like that just makes me wonder if that even does happen. Like, what's gonna be the plan if that happens? But
you have no real plan.
Yeah.
If you trade, I don't. You can sit in that front office. No, like, you can sit in that front office and tell yourself that, yeah, Jalen is going to pan out to be that next guy, but Jalen is never going to give you trade production.
Yeah.
If they trade Trae, bro, they going to start selling off like the rest of people too. Like,
yeah, dog. First of all, this is a business. This is business of basketball. Like, Tony is not about to have an empty arena. People are coming to see Trae. Like, these kids are coming to see Trae. They get Trae jerseys. And I want these people that want to trade Trae to go on 2K right now and find me the point guard that they getting back. That's going to be the guy, because when you trade Trae, you better find somebody that's going to be the guy. You better get a Paul George Hall. Like, that's his value to the Hawks. I don't care what you think about who Trae is league wide. That's his value to this team, this organization. And if you pull that out, like, everyone on this team is probably going to be a little bit worse, right? If Trae's gone, like, those numbers are going to take a hit. That, like, raw counting stats, you might see some guys go up a little bit, but look, you pull Trae off this team right now and you don't replace him with someone that's special. Like, we're not even the Magic. Like, they have one of the best defenses in basketball. Their offense is absolute crap, and they're right where we are, right? So you pull Trae off of this team, we're getting a lot worse, because our defense is not as good as theirs without Trae, and our offense, yeah. You know what that looks like.
Trevor, this is a topic you could talk about for a long minute, because it's been an annoying topic on Twitter for the past years.
Years.
I mean,
years.
It's funny. This has been a topic for me, Hawks fans, for like years.
Where to remove Trae has been like, a daily thing. If Trae has a good game, they want to trade him. Trae has a bad game, they want to trade him. If the young guys score too much, they don't need Trae, even though Trae was the one with 20 assists. If the young guys don't score, then Trae's in the way, right? He needs to get off the ball. There's just, everything is a reason to trade Trae. It's exhausting.
Yeah, everybody doesn't know basketball, sadly.
Most people that watch sports don't know what they're watching when they watch it.
Yeah, it's entertainment. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it's a topic you could talk about for a good minute, because it's been a topic for years.
BS up to come on.
It's so ridiculous.
Topic for years.
I'll move on to this, because I don't want us to just keep ranting about it over and over. We'll go on to our predictions.
Let's do the last. Fuck it. Let's do the last 8. My bad, Spotify. Let's do the last 8. We only got 8 games left.
All right, you really want to do 8?
We only got 8 games left.
Might as well.
Okay.
To the postseason.
So I am gonna list out. So I'm just gonna go one by one.
7-1. Fuck it.
Okay. Hold on.
Jeez.
Wow.
7-1.
Let me do this. Let me write this down. Let me just type it.
But if you want to pull a Bleacher Report.
Which game do you think they lose then, Marcos?
All right. So I'm just gonna go one by one. Ready?
One of the Orlando games.
So Tuesday, April 1st, Portland, win or lose.
You ain't got to say the date. We're doing one by one.
Yeah, one by one.
Dub.
Dub.
Is it Portland? Wait. Is it here? Is it
here? At home. At home.
That's a win.
All right. Yeah, I think it's a win. So let me put W for that. W. So Next, at Dallas.
Dub.
Win.
All right. I think that's going to be a win, too. All right. Versus New York. At
L.
That's gonna be an L.
It depends if they sit, but I'm gonna say L for right now.
You know what? I think it's going to be a win.
I feel like they'll sit at that point.
If Cat doesn't play, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me capitalize these.
I know Brunson
L's.
won't play that game, so
Yeah,
keep Brunson away from Dyson.
All right. Versus Utah at home.
Dub.
Dub, Chris?
Yeah, dub.
All right. That's a dub. All right. At Orlando.
L.
Hold on. I have an answer.
Hold on. Hold on.
What do you say, Marco?
It's at Orlando.
Yeah, we're at Orlando.
We've beaten them at home, right? Twice, right?
Yeah, we beat them once at Orlando. And once at home.
Oh, that's an L.
So season.
They have 3-day rest. Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Oh yeah, that's L.
They have
Go ahead.
4 days rest before that game. That is an L.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, L. We'll do L
That
on
is
that
a
one.
for
So
sure.
we're at what?
You know what?
2 L's so far.
Yeah, you got 2 L's. I got 1 L. What do you say, Chris? Did you say L or win?
Yes.
I said
I
L.
said L.
Yeah, this is a
Okay.
low run.
All right. Next game at Brooklyn.
Dub.
Dub.
All right. I'm going to say L.
But you said dub against Orlando. You're backwards, buddy.
No, I said L.
Team sometimes, man.
You're right.
All right.
We've been playing series lately.
We lost to the Heat, beat the Bucks.
The final away game of the season at Philadelphia.
Dub.
You
Philly
said
dub. Philly's sitting literally everybody.
About 13 last time.
All right.
They're not. They're sitting everybody. We have to win.
And finally, the season finale at home versus Orlando.
Dub.
Paolo's gonna shoot him out of the game, and he should be giving shots to Franz.
All right. So let me just count these. Let's make sure.
I got 6 and 2 for myself.
I got 6 and 2 as well. I said 7 and 1 would be funny, but 6 and 2.
I got 5 and 3 for you.
That's fine.
We had 6 and 2. You had 5 and 3. The only one we disagreed on was that random L you threw out there for like Brooklyn.
For Brooklyn for some reason.
Yeah, Jory Fernandez is a really good coach.
6 and 2 makes us what, 41 and 41?
I think that
makes us 42 and 40.
42
yeah.
and 40. Damn, bro. My prediction at the beginning of the season is getting really, really, really close.
Well, my prediction was actually at the beginning of the season was 42 and 40 with a player possibly being missed from the season. So
good for you.
Man, you write that down yourself, bro. How do we know? I'm gonna go back and listen.
That was not my prediction.
I'm happy.
I guess we do have to trust our host, otherwise,
And I'm happy you thought we were gonna suck.
I'm not trusting that guy.
That was not my prediction.
Buddy just said we're about to lose against Brooklyn.
I'm happy you think we stink.
Hey,
yeah, you realize that the record you chose is different than like the record you predicted at the beginning of the season, right?
Yeah.
I guess you're hedging your bets. You're gonna be right either way.
Yeah, either way. That's right. That's how you play the game.
Yeah, never do lottery, buddy.
Shut up, Marco.
Oh wait.
Hawks fans, tomorrow night, if you're hate watching, you should be rooting for the Clippers over the Magic. You should be rooting for the Kings over the Pacers. We already hate the Pacers. Now we really hate them. We're playing the Kings tomorrow night. You should be rooting for the Rockets over the Lake Show. And you should definitely be rooting for Jordy Fernandez and company to beat the Mavericks.
Yes, sir.
Right.
I completely forgot to mention this in the beginning of the show. The Hawks have clinched a play-in spot. I
Yeah.
forgot to mention that.
They
That
did.
was probably important.
You
Yeah.
didn't even have to trust me. You didn't have to announce that one. We already knew.
That's
It's the Atlanta Hawks Invitational after all.
true. That's
Best
true.
play-in record since it's introduced.
But with that, we did our final predictions for the season, and we will see you all next week for the last podcast of the regular season. So see y'all then.
Ah.
Ah.